Thank you all so much for coming out tonight. We're going to start with our beginning orchestra, and they have 3 pieces to perform for you tonight. The first of which is called Kaleidoscope by William Holfeld. And this piece features dynamics and students using crescendos, diminuendos, going from loud to quiet, quiet to loud, and we hope that you enjoy it. Our second piece this evening may be a familiar one to some of you, especially classical music lovers. And this piece is an adaptation of the theme from Antonin Dvorak's New World Symphony from the second movement, Largo. And Dvorak spent some time from his native Hungary in New York City, and where he wrote New World Symphony and about the new world, coming to the new world. But the theme from Largo is meant to convey a sense of longing for home. And that's what we hope to convey to you with the New World Symphony theme arranged by Michael Allen. final piece this evening is a modern piece by Brian Balmages, and it's called Instincts. And it's meant to convey a sense of raw urgency or almost wildness, like an animal surviving just on instincts. And you may hear a couple of parts in the song that sound a little bit wild. I think those are the kids' favorite parts in the song. Am I right? Yeah. We hope you enjoy Instinct. One more time for our beginning elementary orchestra. Up next very shortly is our elementary intermediate orchestra. Thank you for sticking around. First, they'll be playing a couple of movements from Miniature Symphony by Richard Meyer. Richard Meyer is a prolific composer for student orchestras, and Miniature Symphony has several movements. We're going to do the first two movements, and traditionally, when a symphony plays a movement, there's a little pause in between each movement, and the audience will hold their applause until the end of both movements or all of the movements. And so we're going to do that for you. We'll play movement 1, which is Modest March, and then movement 2, Little Largo for you. Enjoy Miniature Symphony. you very much. For our final selection, they're going to play a contemporary piece that may or may not have been influenced by some popular pirate movies over the last 20 years. This piece features 3/4 time signatures, 4/4 times the most common time signature in music and the most popular time signature in popular music. And it's usually the one that we start with when kids learn instruments. And so this year they've learned to play in 3/4 time. There's another popular pirate movie out there with a theme song also in 3/4 time. So see if you can draw some similarities between that and this piece by Deborah Baker Monday. It's called Crossing Pirates Cove. Once again, our elementary intermediate orchestra. Please stay tuned for our Hopkins Middle School groups up next.
I want to tell you a little bit about this ensemble as they come up on stage. This is the top level of our 3 bands at Hopkins Middle School. The program they're going to play for you, they played at the California Music Educators Association Convention Festival. And they received what's called the unanimous superior. They received the top possible rating from 4 judges at that festival. This program we're going to play for you today ranges from singing like operatic style ariosos to a delightful French Quarter-inspired second line jazz march. So we'll let them get settled. We'll let them play just a little bit to get comfortable, and then we'll start for you with Prelude and Dance by Jack Stanton. This next piece is a staple of the wind band literature. It's called Air for Band. Fred Erickson, Ed Fredrickson, whoever he is, he wrote this in the late 60s, early 70s. You'll hear a lot that sounds like Italian opera. If you've ever watched a movie that was with an Italian soundtrack, this will sound incredibly familiar. This is Air for Band. I fell in love with this last piece at a summer program where I teach called the Ginny Lynn Foundation. If you have a student that needs something worthwhile to do in the summer, it's a free summer program that offers an orchestra, a band, and a choir. There, I put on my choir director hat and I lead the choir. But last year, the band finished with a piece called The Country Club Stomp by Gerard Hall. What this is a second line march. Why is it called second line? Because this was played by the people that couldn't keep up with the front line. The music has a lot of notes, but it doesn't go anywhere fast. You have to imagine yourself, which is not hard today, on a day where it's 100 degrees and 100% humidity, as it often is in New Orleans. Imagine that you're exhausted, but you're also full of joy. As you listen to Country Club Stomp, imagine those folks enjoying the simple beauty of food and fellowship and music. A couple of things I want to share with you about the group that you're about to hear. This orchestra was the featured orchestra for middle school at the California Music Educators Association convention in Sacramento in January. The only middle school orchestra to play. And part of what you're going to hear today was on that program. Later, they played at the CMEA State Festival down at Riverside College and got exceptional marks there as well. One thing that's really important to realize is that the band musicians you just heard have only been playing their instruments for 2 or 3 years. The orchestral instruments, the strings you're about to hear, they've been playing for 5 to 6 years. And there is a significant difference in life experience. When you're 14, 6 years is a lot of years. They catch up in high school. The first thing you're going to hear is the Overture to the Marriage of Figaro, which is an opera written by Mozart. Our symphonic band's going to come back in and have a seat because they want to hear this too. The second one you're going to hear is She Will Hang the Night with Stars, which is a poem written by, oh goodness, an Irish playwright whose name I cannot remember, but you would know. And it's about a woman that he fell in love with but never got to talk to. And you'll hear wistfulness and hope and excitement and love, and then the absence of all of that, using the same music. Band, just go ahead and come in and sit down. There's no reason to go anywhere else. There's chairs right there. Thank you so much. Go on and have a seat. And then we're going to end with Ghosts of Bohemia, which was written reflecting the author's thoughts as he walked through a town, a Bohemian town in Cincinnati. While the advanced orchestra is very quickly getting on stage, rather than waving at the symphonic band while they're getting on stage, while on stage they are getting, while they getting on stage are. You can go up the back steps, it's fine. You're amazing. Get on stage. Yes, I see you. This stage, this is fine. Come on out. We won't hurt you. It's a safe space. Kinda. 5, 4, 3, don't run. Don't break that cello. Your parents will not be happy. You'll notice that we're serious about making music, but we're also very serious about having fun. And it's in that vein that I need to let you all know that while I have had 4 glorious years at Hopkins Middle School, this will be my last concert here. But I am not going far. In fact, if you were able to see through our music building, you'd be able to see the school where I'll be teaching next year. I'll be up at Mission San Jose, which means that I'll get 4 more years with all these delightful kids. Give them about 2 more minutes. We'll get them tuned, and we will play our They want to speak. This is frightening. Who's first?
We wanted to give like a really big thank you to Mr. Sartin, since like he's like really amazing and our whole I know that our whole orchestra or the whole program in general really appreciates his presence, and like he took us to Disneyland, he took us to like CMEA, he took us to all these like amazing places that like we would have never gone to do like if we didn't have Mr. Sartin. And like I really want to give like a really big thank you to like all that he's done to the program, and yeah. Really bummed out that they won't have Mr. Sartin next year, but I know all the 8th graders who have orchestra are really happy to have Mr. Sartin next year at MSJ. So thank you so much.
Hi, I'm the co-concert master for the advanced orchestra, and the reason why I even decided to like play the violin was because one year in 2nd grade, the Hopkins orchestra of that year came down and played an amazing concert at like Chadbourne Elementary School. So it's like they are responsible for why I've chosen to do this and all of this. So I just want to give a huge round of applause to Mr. Sartin as well as the entire like music community at Hopkins.
I started violin in 2nd grade as well, and I just really love the community Mr. Sartin has created. It's so helpful and supportive and inspiring. Thank you so much, Mr. Sartin, and I feel like this concert really closes a chapter of our lives today.
Literally would have never chose like bass. Like I literally did not even know that this instrument. Sorry, catchy too, I guess. But like I literally did not even know that this instrument like even existed. And like so like I actually put in like the form that I wanted to play a different instrument. And then Miss Turner was like, hey, if you choose like bass, we'll let you be in like the 6th grade orchestra instead of like the elementary level. So I'm like, okay, why not? Okay. And I got it turns out like next year I got into like advanced orchestra after I tried out, and like it was like a really amazing experience, and I got to meet so many people, and I got to meet Jay and Lashi, who are like the bestest people in the world, and also Kenji, I guess, and then so yeah, it's all thanks to Mr. Sartin that like we're able to have this awesome community and like this awesome like program in general, and like it never would have happened like without Mr. Sartin. So I want to give like a really big thank you to Mr. Sartin.
And I think next year's orchestra just won't be the same without him. And this year has just been really fun. Thank you, Mr. Sartin.
I also wanted to say a big thanks to Mr. Sartin. I first actually started liking him last year in 7th grade when I was in the advanced orchestra, and I just realized that it was not just music, but it's also like making friends and like meeting teachers you like. So I just wanted to say thank you, Mr. Sartin, for being a teacher that I like.
So finally, I wanted to end this all off with a thank you. Thank you so much for encouraging me and inspiring me through tough times. Sometimes I really have a really bad day, and your class just thanks to writing.
final speech, I would also like to thank Mr. Sartin for building a community for all of us and making it our class like something that we all look forward to during our day, and making it just overall a great community for us all to be part of and to look forward to. Thank you.
So, this is probably the 15th time today I've cried. For 4 years, I have told everyone I meet that I teach the best kids in the world. And it's true, whether they're these guys, or those guys, or the 350 kids in total that I taught this year. It has been a joy and a privilege and a pleasure. And I look forward to seeing most of these people again for 4 more years of community and music and joy at Mission San Jose. Thank you so much for being here tonight.